Hello, welcome. So you're my 2 o'clock appointment? Perfect. So you are the best man. Wow, it's a lot of responsibility. Are you excited? Appreciate the honesty. All right, well, hopefully you will feel a little bit more excited once you see how phenomenal you look in this suit. Because this is going to be such an impeccable fitting suit that I think it's going to just transform the entire day. Yeah, because like when you feel good, like you end up just having a better time. Let's be real. All right, so I'm sure you know the drill. I don't think this is your first rodeo. Am I right? Am I right in assuming that? I thought so. You look like someone that gets a lot of invitations to things. All right, so I don't need to describe the process of what we're going to be doing today, so I will just jump right into this because I'm sure you have much better things to be doing with your time. Let me just grab my notebook. You just wait right there, so I'll write these measurements down. Where is that? Where is that book? Okay, here it is. All right, so while I do have an incredible memory, memorizing all of these numbers, that would be a next level feat. Okay, so let me just get this open to the page. Okay, I'm just gonna write your name down. Give me your last name one more time. Okay, thank you. It's a nice name. I like that. And let's write today's date. And when do you need this by? Okay. It'll be ready long before that. Okay, just want to make sure everything is okay. There we are. All right, so first things first, why don't I have you just stand up nice and straight for me. Oh, perfect. Wow, I think you just grew 2 inches. Okay, come around in front of you. Oh no need to apologize at all. I myself am a fellow sloucher, so I completely understand. My grandmother was always getting on me about standing up straight. Okay, so yes, let's just go right. Just get those nice broad shoulders. Okay, there we go. Nice. All right. Write that down in the trusty notebook. So how's your day been so far? Yeah, it's crazy out there right now. I know it's really been raining super hard all day. Oh no. I'm becoming exactly the person that I swore I would never become. Someone that starts discussing the weather with strangers. All right, I'm sorry. I do actually love the rain though. So quite enjoying this. All right, so yeah, just continue standing nice and tall there for me. Now, if you could just raise that arm up, just gonna get the length of this from shoulder all the way down to your wrist. Okay. Write this down. Got quite a little wingspan on you. Are you ever like a swimmer? Oh my God. Very long arms. Okay, go around to the back. I just want to get a measurement of your back. So what will you be doing later today after you are free to leave the building? Nice. That sounds... Alright, just try to relax. Try to relax your shoulders a little bit for me. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Okay, write that down. Come around over here. So if you don't mind, would you mind sharing like why exactly you're not excited about going to this little event? When you first came in, I said, "Are you excited?" You said no. I don't mean to pry. You know, it's not normally the answer that I hear. Oh, you're not a super big fan of the bride. Now it's all making more sense. Again, feel free to tell me to shut up at any point, but I'm a curious person. Can I ask like what it is about the bride here? I'm gonna have you stick this arm out over here. What it is about the bride that kind of annoys you? Oh, alright, gotcha. Yeah, no, it is challenging these days when someone holds like a viewpoint that's very, very different than our own. Sadly, it's become seems like almost impossible just to have a differing opinion about something without it becoming, like World War III. I know, it's really quite tragic. I have a few thoughts on this. I don't know if you're at all interested in hearing them. Only because I was in sort of a similar experience recently where I was going to have to be around a big group of people that I knew all had very different viewpoints than me on something. And I had this technique that I used that really helped me to get through it. So I'm completely open to sharing that with you if you're interested in hearing. Otherwise, I will just, shut up and go back to taking these measurements. Okay, wonderful. I'm gonna put a cough drop in my mouth. I've just been talking all day. I'm not sick at all, just my throat. It's just a little bit, just dry from talking so much. Alright, so I'm gonna go around your waist here. Just try to relax your diaphragm. Just breathe. Breathe naturally. Don't hold anything in. Okay, I'm just gonna put this around your waist. Excuse me, pardon my reach. Oh, yeah, so the thing that I learned recently, I'm not sure if you're at all familiar with Buddhism, but there's this one parable, and it's called, I believe, like the blind man parable. And in this parable, there's like 4 or 5 different blind men, and they are all touching different parts of an elephant. 1 second, I'm just gonna write this down. Okay, I'm just gonna take your inseam also. Alright, so, for example, like one of the blind men is touching the trunk, so they think that that is what the elephant looks like. Another blind man is touching the tail, and they think that that is what the elephant looks like. Another one's touching a leg. Another one is touching the ear. And so they all have this completely different perspective of what the elephant looks like. And each of their perspectives is correct. It's just not a representation of the whole. So when they try to argue and debate over who has the accurate view of this elephant? They're all right and they're all wrong, if that makes sense. Each person is correct, and each person is also wrong. I know everything's always sort of a paradox in those things. All right, hold on, I'm just gonna write this down. All right, and then I know this sounds sort of strange, but I'm actually gonna do your other leg as well because you might find this surprising, but sometimes people's legs are like a little bit different lengths. Yeah, just by a small amount, but it does show in the band, so hold on. I'm just gonna come around behind you. Does that make sense what I'm saying? You know, like about the elephant metaphor? Okay, good. Because it was sort of like a major breakthrough for me personally. Because I realized there doesn't have to be a debate, you know, like there doesn't have to be an argument. There doesn't have to be convincing. It just requires, you know, you to listen and hear the other person describe their own lived experiences. Does that make sense? All right, let me get this other leg here. Would you mind just leaning your leg just slightly forward for me? All right, perfect. Yeah, because it's like when you think about it like that, for example, now you're not trying to persuade or convince. You're just explaining your personal set of lived experiences. And you're listening to their lived experiences. And I think it's really important not to start speaking about what I've seen on the news or what I've read, but just to stay 100% to your own personal lived and felt experiences. Because everything's, you know, manipulated on the media, and you don't learn anything about a person by hearing what they've, you know, seen on TikTok or vice versa. They don't learn anything about you that way. But if we can explain, you know, our lived experiences to a person, then it just gives us a way more accurate picture of the whole without ever trying to, you know, argue or debate. No, it's a good question. Well, I don't know, here. Maybe I'll explain it to you in the way it was someone explained it to me. Hold on, I'm gonna go grab a jacket. I want to put the jacket on you, and I just want to see how this sample jacket fits you. All right, just stay put. Right back. Hold that thought. No, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, actually. Kind of lends itself to what I was going to talk about next. So I'm just going to put this on you, and it's just for, you know, me to do some pinning so I can just see like where it needs to, you know, be taken in. Just really check the length sleeves, how it fits you in the waist, the neck. So if I could just have you slip one arm right through there. Perfect. So there you are. Just put your other arm right there. We go. Okay. Now, of course, I don't have the clips. Here they are. Okay. I'm just gonna start clipping this with some in some places. What was your question again? Yes. So I'm glad you asked that, because actually it's the exact same question that I asked. And the person that I was talking to, this is how they explained it to me, and it made a lot of sense. So I'm going to explain it to you the same way. Okay, I'm just going to go behind you so I can start clipping this jacket. And again, just stand as, naturally as possible right now. I don't want to clip things that, make you feel like you have to stand in this really rigid, uncomfortable way when you get your actual suit jacket. Okay. So what this person said to me, and what I thought made a lot of sense, was they were saying, think about it like, what if the daytime was trying to explain to the night what life is like? Again, they would have such completely different perspectives. Just hold still. I'm just going to put that right there. Okay, we got the next clip. And so, if night was explaining to the day, they would say, the sky is full of stars and it's completely black and everyone goes to sleep. And the day would say, what are you talking about? You're crazy. There's clouds in the sky and it's blue and the people are all moving around. And then the night would say, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know where you're getting this information, but it's completely wrong. Look, I'll give you a screenshot. Look at all these stars that are in the sky. There's billions of them. And the day would say, I don't know where you got that information, but here, let me show you a screenshot that someone sent me. No, look, the sky is filled with clouds, and look at all the people. And they just would be talking over each other and thinking that the other one was crazy, instead of understanding that they both were right and they both were wrong. Again, just no one's 100% right and no one's 100% wrong. They're both just components of the whole. Clip. Does that make sense? Yeah, it was kind of like making sense to me when someone explained it like that. And it's, it's interesting. Hold on, I need to go around to the other side. I got this other sleeve. No, it's a good point. One second. Yeah, exactly. Like, if instead of trying to explain why one is better than the other, if night was just to ask the day, hey, what is it like being the day? Like, please tell me what that's like. I would love to hear about that. And the day asked the same of the night. What is it like being the night? I've never experienced that. Please tell me what that's like and what that's all about. I would love to hear about your experience. They would both walk away from that with so much more information than if they just argued about, what they already know. Like, if the day is just only arguing, this is what it's like, and the night is just arguing, no, this is what it's like. And they don't hear what their experience is, what it's like to be the night or what it's like to be the day. No one walks away with anything other than resentment and anger and frustration. Because you're never going to convince someone that their lived experience is false. You're never going to convince someone that what they see with their own eyes isn't true. and have them listen and learn what your world is like, and hope that there will be an understanding. But yeah, like, what if it's not even about that, though? What if it's not about coming to, like, a compromise? What if it's just simply about acknowledging that opposites will always exist? There needs to be down in order for there to be up. There needs to be suffering in order for there to be joy. There needs to be dark in order for there to be light. There needs to be masculine in order for there to be feminine. There needs to be all these opposites, and we don't want to cancel one out. We need to recognize they both have their place, and they both have their role, and to just learn from each other. I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually said the same thing. And they were explaining that it's not that one needs to be right or one needs to defeat the other. It's just they both need to understand. They both have different roles to play, and they both have, like, their own lane that they need to stay in. Like, people need to be able to rest. We need night. And then people also need to be able to, have action and movement and go about the day and accomplish things and, reach their goals. So we need both of them. And it's not about compromising. It's not about the day and the night, reaching some sort of compromise. It's just understanding that they both have different roles to play at different times. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly at all. It was explained to me a lot better. I feel like I'm sort of butchering this, but do you get sort of the gist of what I'm trying to say here? All right. I don't know if explaining these things is my strong suit. Just stick to measuring, but okay, good. I'm glad that you got the overall message that I'm trying to say here. All right, so stick this arm out for me. I just want to do a little bit of pinning over here. Where did I put that book? Oh my goodness, I swear I would lose my head if it wasn't attached to my body. Okay, there it is. Yes. No, that's awesome. See, look at you, just asking all the right questions. I don't know if I have the answer to that, but let me explain to you what they said to me. All right, first let me just pin this. Okay, I'm just gonna pin this here. I don't want your sleeves dangling too far. Okay, I'm just I don't know. They were just basically explaining that we need both. They both have their place. They both have a very specific function. And it's just all about learning to see everything as a slice of the whole. And they were just explaining that, if in our personal life, when we have someone in our life that we care about, that we know has a different viewpoint than us, that instead of debating them, instead of fighting them, instead of trying to force our will and our belief upon them, if instead we just tried to learn their perspective and we just listened and we never tried to explain our own perspective in that moment, all we did was just listen to their own lived and felt experience. Because through that, through listening, then we see another slice of the whole, you know? If we're only talking, if we're only convincing, then all we ever see is our own slice, you know? All we ever see is the tail, or all we ever see is the ear, or all we ever see is the night. And there's all these other slices out there, you know? There's like an infinite amount of slices out there. And we have something that we can learn from everyone, because everyone has experienced a different slice, you know, a different piece. And nobody's 100% right, and nobody's also 100% wrong. It's all about all these different slices coming together to be a just picture of the whole. Does that make sense? Again, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm explaining this properly. I'm like kind of rambling now. On a positive note, this jacket is looking freaking stellar. Yeah, all right. Is it possible for you to slip that off without affecting any of these pins? Hey, let me try to help you out of that. Okay. I'm gonna slide this other arm off. Okay. I hope that was helpful. I hope there was some helpful advice for like when you go to this wedding, because it did help me when I was in that situation. And yeah, just try to, if it comes up naturally, I wouldn't force it. And this is obviously like, I don't even think you should ever try to talk to people on social media about these things, because that's just ego clashing with ego. No one's like trying to actually learn something from you or vice versa. It's just a waste of energy. But when you're in a situation like that, it's just people that you care about. I mean, this is your best friend and his wife to be. And if instead of expressing how you feel, because you already know every part of your own lived experience, if you just get to know her and what her life's been like and why she thinks the way she thinks, and you just listen, you just kind of process it. You don't even need to respond. It's just take it in. What it will do is it'll make you feel like a little less angry about it, because now you kind of understand, where she's coming from. And that's really all it's about, It's just about you not feeling angry, just being able to feel like more relaxed, more at peace, not feeling like it's your job to try to control the whole situation, because that's so exhausting. So exhausting trying to constantly control things. But if we can all just take a breath, we can all just listen and just sort of get to know each other again, introduce the night to the day and the day to the night, and see like, oh wow, you both have so much to offer. Like you both have such necessary things that you bring to the table. Everything, it's all just a yin and a yang, opposites coming together to form a cohesive whole. And we just need to get out of that mindset of like winning and losing and right and wrong, and just realize it's just all necessary components of the big picture. All right, right, so this will be ready in 4 days. So will you be coming in to pick this up? All right, great. And can I get your phone number one more time? I'm just going to write this down here along with all of your other measurements. Yes, exactly. A little philosophy, a little measuring. Now you can go back out there and look, the rain has stopped. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. So what was that phone number? Okay. So I will give you a call when this is ready. And I look forward to seeing you when you come pick it up. I hope you have an amazing day. And I'm sorry if I was chatting your ear off. I was just feeling kind of in a chit-chatty mood, and you just seemed like someone that was very easy to talk to. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed our talk. I enjoyed talking to you as well. It's nice just speaking to someone that is open and receptive. If only more people could be like you. All right, I will see you in a couple of days. It was so nice meeting you as well. I really enjoyed talking with you. Have an amazing day.